Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and Patreon subscriber Jeremy has sent me in Hawkeye's Bow combo, but not with Seeker of Skybreak, with Aphetto Alchemist. If you're allowed to play with cards that aren't common, you get a blue version, which is strictly better. The combo here, if you missed the 4 days this was legal in Pauper, is Hawkeye's Bow reads, whenever a equipped creature becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Aphetto Alchemist can tap to untap target artifact or creature, including itself. Tap Alchemist, opponent takes 1, targeting itself, untaps, tap it again, infinite damage. There you go. The rest of the shell is just blue cards that find your combo pieces, some counterspells, and wizards. Tamiyo can build kind of a unassailable bubble. If you draw half your deck, you should be able to play a bow, play an alchemist, protect it for a turn with force, and then untap and win. Thundertrap Trainer can dig for the goods as well. All of these cards turn on Flame of Anor, Aphetto Alchemist itself, also a wizard. We got Ponders and Lorien Revealed to turn on Flow State. Mostly just digging and trying to combo off. Other than the Flame of Anors and Forces, there's not interaction in this deck. We're trying to reach our own endgame before the opponent does, rather than trying to grind the opponent into nothing. Hawkeye's Bow does have fun applications on the fair side in this deck, though. A single red to play and 1 to equip. If you put this on Tamiyo, Tamiyo attacks for 2 now. It's a 1/3 with flying that pings your opponent when it attacks. We're 2/3 of the way to a Delver of Secrets. If you put 2 bows on the Tamiyo, she's attacking for 4. Thundertrap Trainer can pick it up and functionally become a 3/2 in combat. Your opponent can't just sit on removal for Aphetto Alchemist forever because your other creatures picking up Hawkeye's Bow are kind of real pressure. And that's what's going on here. It's pretty simple. Let's try to execute. This is Wizard Hawkeye's Bow combo. I'm on the play in round 1 with a hand that does not do anything. I'm going to have to mulligan this one. All right, that's a lot better. I can Ponder, Lorien Revealed finds my next land. If Ponder doesn't, I got Hawkeye's Bow. We're digging here. Opponent's also on 6. I'm going to start with a basic island. Mana in this deck is phenomenal if you let it be. Okay, this is Force of Will. That can keep me alive. If I need to force anything, that turns on Flow State when I cycle this Lorien Revealed. Volcanic Island, Chromatic Star. I genuinely have no idea what's going on. Plus Bauble. Yeah, I don't really know what this is. I am going to draw a Flame of Anor. And I can't get Basic Mountain here. I'll develop Hawkeye's Bow. Let's go. Normally, I'd be pretty worried about Wasteland from a Volcanic Island deck, but Chromatic Star is a very strange card to see. I wonder if this is some take on Affinity. Arena of Glory. Oh, okay. It's the Goblin deck. That makes sense. Makes perfect sense. Sewer Valence Cam. I guess I did know this card was here, and this deck makes sense. Okay, options here are Force Emery or try to rip my way into Flame of Anor. I'm going to let Emery happen. I would rather get some wizard action off it anyway. Ponder. Okay, if Ponder finds land, then I can Thunder Trap. I get 2 hits. I'm going to be greedy here because land is really what I want. And Thundertrap Trainer doesn't hit lands. We did it. All right, I'll go Scalding Tarn, Force of Will, Mountain, no shuffle, play Mountain, Thundertrap Trainer, picks up Force of Will, and gets me a wizard for the future. I am going to grab the extra force rather than the Ponder. Opponent saw Force of Will at random from my hand. Already knew about that one. The perfect crime. There is a Dragon Engine in this graveyard. I don't think I would fight over it if my opponent casts it here. Also, a note about Phyrexian Dragon Engine. It reads when this creature enters from your graveyard, which means Emery casting it, it would enter from the stack, not from the graveyard, even though it's cast from the graveyard. So that would just be a 2/2 double strike without the additional text. Oh, it's cam time. Well, I'm not forcing that. Emery gets to do a bunch of stuff this turn. Hopefully for the last time. I wonder if they're going to try to extrude the Legion. Yeah, they are. Flame of Anor is pretty important here. I think I want to force pitching Force. I could have a better fight over this and make sure it resolves. But I kind of want these cards that I have. They're important. Lorien Revealed. I think locking in my land drop is a good decision here. I'm going to kill Emery and draw 2 cards. Okay, that worked. Attack with my trainer and hope I'm not dead right now. If my opponent has a Goblin Welder in their hand, I am deceased immediately. So I'll flow state from my hand. My opponent is kind of the similar deck to me, a blue-red value cards with an AB combo in their deck, except their deck is a lot better than mine because their secondary cards are a lot better. Uh-oh. Haste. I wonder if this deck wants an Arena of Glory. Just put 1 in there so you can Aphetto combo. That's pretty tight. Right, they did not use haste mana on this Emery. Wow. That had to be a misclick. They just exerted Arena of Glory and used the red for... Oh, Emery only cost 1. They might have thought they were able to do that, but actually weren't. Okay. Well, that's pretty lucky for me. Flow state. Flame of Anor, hell yeah. And another flow state. Keep them coming. Flame. Deal 5 to Emery and destroy Construct. I'm trying to buy time until I can do my thing here. Attack. I assume there's a skateboard in the deck, which could tap my blocker anyway. And I'm not using Thundertrap Trainer for anything. Opponent reveals flow state at random from my hand. Wink, wink. Good thing I have 2 different cards, too. Okay, no construct being constructed here. Skateboard. I still lose to Goblin Welder here. That's simply always going to be true. Tapping my bow. All right, GG. Yeah, that's all face up. There's not even a sub-game to be played there. They must have just drawn that, too, because the same coast was clear last turn. Okay, Hydroblast coming in. Pyroclasm's actually pretty good here. That kills most of their engines. They are a graveyard combo deck. But creatures are not what they're looping from the graveyard. Blood Moon's interesting. I don't think I want Force of Negation. Pyroblast hits Emery and Sewer Cam. I don't want all 3, but I want some number. Probably. This deck's pretty tight. Looking for cuts here. Like, I could side grade Force of Will into different interaction and not 2-for-1 myself at all, but that does leave me shields down in showdown situations. I can probably play with less than 4 Hawkeye's Bow. It's not a high impact card until it's go time, and I think my opponent is going to be a lot more dangerous than me. That does basically leave me with 2 win conditions in the deck, though. Pretty light. I've got trainers, flow states, everything to dig for it. Yeah, it's going to have to be fine. I know it's not in the spirit of the deck, but I kind of wish there were just 2 Murktide Regents here. We're very good at putting spells in the graveyard. Oh no. The basic mountain. Gonna have to mulligan this. All right, this one I'll hold on to. I'll get rid of the aforementioned basic mountain. I can get that if I need it. And we're not playing against a wasteland deck, so I can fetch my Thundering Falls here. Unless I need to emergency Hydroblast. All right, I can blast that later. Bauble. Thundering Falls. Don't need more lands. I'm gonna blow up the Goblin Welder right now while they're tapped out. Holding on to Bauble, that probably means they have Emery in hand. Loki. All right, that's a reason to hold on to Bauble as well. Now they can Bauble me and draw 2 cards. 1 now and 1 later. Loki reveals Island. I'm going to need something to do pretty quick here. Oh no. All right, I guess I'm going to flow state for 1. The pity flow state. I'll take Tameo. That one just kind of does anything. Yeah, every turn I play and every exchange that happens, it just solidifies that my opponent is literally just a better build of exactly my same deck. Look at these draw engines they got going. Their combo comes together cleaner. They got Urza Saga. I'm pretty jealous. Loki's a sicko, by the way. This deck won the Legacy Showcase, the most recent Legacy Showcase. That might not be true by the time this video comes out. I think there's a showcase coming up this weekend at the time of recording. But the previous Legacy Showcase was won by, or maybe it was a showcase qualifier. I'm not sure. But it was won by this deck. And then this deck also won the DMV Classic in paper, an event that I did commentary for. That whole event is on YouTube now if you want to go watch that. This deck is really good, and Loki is a really powerful card in it. Mox Opal. This turn just keeps getting worse for me. Attacking with Loki. Threatening Dragon Engine. Under Trap Trainer. All right. I like this guy. Show me some action. Pyroblast Lorian revealed. I guess I'll take Pyroblast. At least killing Loki is something useful I can do. I'll do that. Spell Pierce. Ew. Real interaction? I'm pretty dead. Yeah, I really wish I had thought of Arena of Glory. I made a couple changes to this deck. But if my opponent gets Agatha's Soul Cauldron here, they can turn their creatures into Goblin Welder and then start welding for real. And then if they find a Sewer Cam anywhere, they win. Yeah, there's Soul Cauldron. If Sewer Cam's already in the hand, then they just have the win and they know it. If not, then they need to turn a creature into Goblin Welder, weld Dragon Engine into play, draw 3 cards, and hope one of those is Cam. Yep, here comes this. And targeting with Soul Cauldron triggers Loki. I think this deck was kind of low on the radar for a while because the Sewer Cam combo is so tedious to execute on Magic Online. But now that it's won multiple major events, people are putting in the work and dealing with the clicks to make it happen. Okay, they welded Skateboard into Lotus Petal. That's kind of scary. Okay, GG. That'll do. Yeah, that deck is just way better at being the same thing as my deck. On to the next round.
The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here.
I'm on the play in round 2. I think we have to keep hands like this. My hand is just, or my deck is just lands and cantrips and 8 combo pieces. I did think about, and I always forget the name of it, the enchantment Tormenting Voice that you can pay 1 to give your creatures haste. I did think about adding 2 of those cards to this deck. Just some way to give Alchemist haste is probably worth doing, but Arena of Glory is so much cleaner. And the mana base can afford a little bit of tech. It's pretty tight as it is. Oh, Undercity Sewers Milling Thassa's Oracle. What could this deck be? I'm going to get my Thundering Falls versus what's almost certainly Doomsday. I do not need Scalding Tarn. Ooh, the bow. Right, I'm gonna get in the trap here. Trainer finds Flame of Anor. Flame of Anor also beats Doomsday. You can force them to draw 2 cards when their deck's almost empty. And I'm better set up for Flame than I am for Flow State right now anyway. Brainstorm. That's 1 spell if we're counting for cars. 2 spells. I can't get card this turn because opponent, if they go Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, Car, that's already 5 spells. Okay, I could start dealing damage here. I could hold up Flame of Anor. I think I like dealing damage. Hawkeye's Bow. Equip. Attack for 3. Here we go. Putting that damage on them. Doomsday Piles cost life to make. Not giving your combo opponent infinite time to sculpt the perfect hand is pretty important. Thoughtseize. Alright, well. I might be dead anyway. This can clear my Force of Negation, and with 5 cards in hand, they've got plenty of room to cook. Fetch down to 13. Flow State. Oh, okay. That's good news. I'm not going to cycle one of these Lorians. There's not a reason to do that. I have my next land drop. Blue cards are useful for my collection of forces that my deck plays. Double Flame of Anor, but I can only play 1. This does insulate versus discard, though. Another Flow State. I'm going to go for an end-step Flame just to draw 2 cards. Now that I have 2 of these, using 1 aggressively like this, maybe they'll think I don't know that this kills Doomsday, or maybe they'll just counter this and I get a card out of their hand. Hardcast Daze, so this must be a double Daze situation then. We'll get an island and pay. Alright, yep. Double Daze, cash that one out. Ponder. I always love a Ponder. Oh, Alchemist, Force of Will. And another bow. Well, I'm going to put Force of Will in my hand. No shuffle. Attack for 3. And do I even need Alchemist? Another bow attacks for 5. Puts them to 1. I think I'm just going to cycle here. and develop a land. I can still do everything that this hand could do without that. Replayed the sea that we knew about. Thought seas. Yeah, that resolves. I have 2 good cards against their deck right now. They've got 5 cards in hand, though. Flame of Anora kills Fantasticar or makes a Doomsday Pile draw 2. Like, these are both useful to me. Dark Ritual. Doomsday. Alright, they go to 2. And if they can put Force of Will in the pile along the way here, they'll still be okay. Or Daze. But they're now dead on board, so they do have to do this. Street Wraith is off because they're at 2 life. If Thassa's Oracle got exiled, they must play 2. Fantasticar confirmed is in the deck. I see 3 copies here. I see 4 Force of Wills in exile. Only 1 Daze in exile, I think. Unless the crazy borders are messing with me. Which means one of the ones from the graveyard just went into the pile. And there might be more in their hand. Oh no, there's one up here. Okay. The border was messing with me. Brain didn't register that right away. Okay, here's Brainstorm. 2 cards in your deck. Yeah, Daze is a much cleaner answer. Anyway, this does have to be a fast pile, though. Consider was exiled. Lion's Eye Diamond. That's probably good news for me. If they discard their hand, then they can't have Daze. Okay, Edge of Autumn. Okay. You have 3 cards in your deck. That's not enough to win with Oracle. Flow State. Yeah, if this gets... Like, making them draw 2 cards now doesn't matter. If they get Thassa's Oracle plus Daze, this pile works. Alright, target player draws 2 cards, and I'll destroy Lotus Petal for good measure. Or I could target Thassa's Oracle. This is mostly the same thing. Alright. Oracle resolves. You draw 2, deal 5 to Oracle. Could I play it around Daze here? And I remember last turn the mana being pretty tight. Yeah, it was don't cycle Lorien and leave up 3 mana, or cycle Lorien, hit my land drop, leave up the same 3 mana. Yeah, because I had 4 mana when I had to ponder. In that case, all those turns ago when I said I don't need to cycle Lorien because I have my next land lined up, but then I did miss a land drop, but then I lost by 1 mana 3 turns later. Maybe that was predictable. Either way, Thundertrap Trainer with Hawkeye's Bow. Get out of the way. Here we come. Okay, Consigns and Flusterstorms coming in. Pyroblast is also a reasonable card to have. And it's weird to cut Alchemist, but I think that is the worst thing going on in my deck right now. Shave 1 bow. Yeah, look at me, just cutting the thing that we came to do. And I think either a Lorien or a Ponder is my last cut here. They're both sorceries. Yeah, okay, I'll cut a Lorien. I don't have room for these Pyroblasts. Let's try this. I'll keep my hand. Island Ponder. Ponder. Found a Vista and a Tameo. I don't need another trainer. I'll take the Vista. I'm ready for that. If opponent sends it on turn 1, I'm cooked. I'm just going to hope that they don't. Underground Sea pass is what they had. Would I rather Thundertrap or Tameo here? I'm going to go Tameo first. And then I'll invest a bow. Get my beatdowns in. Delver of Secrets. However, we got to make it happen. End step Brainstorm. Pass on that. End step Brainstorm indicates to me that my opponent plans to spend all their mana next turn, or they're 1 resource short of going nuts next turn. Lotus Petal. 1. Ah, shit. 2. Yep. Caught with the shields down. They just need 2 spells here to bust open, and I don't have a meltdown or any such thing. Yeah, dazing their own bauble. GG. And the real combo decks continue to beat up my silly combo deck. I'm just here trying to play a pauper deck in Legacy. Someone give me a chance.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 3. I'll keep. I'm in. Battling against Misplaced Ginger, Urza Saga, Mox Diamond. All right, we doing some land stuff. A Ghost Quarter definitely lands. Nobody else has that card in their deck. And there's Life from the Loam. Immediately in trouble. So I think, like, I identified this from just seeing the deck. I think that we need more going on here. Second Mox Diamond, that's so cracked. Expedition map, yep. Storm is 4. Ponder. Yeah, so I think there is not enough going on in this deck. The combo's not good enough that you can just cantrip your way into it and hope it works. Ancient Tomb from hand. Did Dredge Loam. Yeah, playing out Ancient Tomb lets opponent Loam and Activators of Saga. I guess could have done that anyway with Eldrazi spawn. Loam targeting Ghost Quarter, Caracas, and Dark Depths. I hope my opponent Ghost Quarters me. I have so many basics. That's a game I can play. Right, Brainstorm, Thundertrap Trainer. A little late to the party here. I guess I'm going to Ponder. What I'm looking for is Force of Negation. And there are a couple in the main deck. All right, I found one and Alchemist. All right. You're saying there's a chance. Pithing Needle's in the graveyard already. If I can win a damage race versus these constructs, which is not going to be trivial, because opponent had 3 artifacts in play on turn 1. It's turn 3, by the way. Don't be confused by how many permanents my opponent has access to. I really hope this Loam gets dredged. That's what I need to happen for me to have a chance in this game. Did not dredge Loam. Hate that for me. So if opponent is trying to spike Crop Rotation and Dark Depth me right now, I do get to punish that with Force as well. There's a Dark Depths in hand. Can tutor Skateboard right now. All right, ended up making a construct after all. Yeah, this is just an 11-point crush. Or no, it's more than that because it's going to be a 13-point crush. And I did not develop a wizard on curve, so Flame of Anor can only kill one of these things and not 2. Like, blowing up a construct, dealing 5 to the other would make the other 5/5. Malevolent Rumble. All right, I'm not going to fight over that. We've got a Wasteland Amazivith are the options. Second Loam. Flipped, which makes my Force of Negation worse, but that wasn't what this game was going to be about anyway at this point. I took Wasteland. Dark Depths was the land for turn. Okay, 13-point crush. I can shatter one of the constructs next turn and still take 5, but I have to fetch to do it, so I guess I'm just dead here. I could play Thundertrap Trainer, but I need to... There's nothing I could hit, and that just shows. I think I'm going to cast Brainstorm and then concede, because right now I look like Sneak and Show, and if my opponent thinks that's what I am, that's fine for me. All right. I think I might actually have been okay versus 1 Mox Diamond on turn 1, but not 2. Pretty tight. Okay. Blood Moons, Surgical Extraction. The sideboard probably wants a Meltdown, but I don't currently have it, so I'm off it. Surgicals. I don't love Force of Will. I love Force of Negation. I think I do want all of my combo pieces in the deck. Consign to Memory has some use here. Maybe I cut a Flow State. That's just a very slow card in a matchup that might not be what I need to do. Okay, I'm making these small changes. Okay, a fast Tameo is a way that we can scam lands. I'm going to keep this. I don't have the Brainstorm, but going Tameo into Thundertrap Trainer gets engines moving for me. And there's a good chance my opponent thinks I'm show and tell right now. Ancient Tomb. Okay, Expedition Map. I'm glad that wasn't Sphere of Resistance. That's not a card I want to play against yet. Thundertrap Trainer. Cast this. Wow, a Mist. Do you know how many friggin' spells are in my deck? I'm losing my mind here. And I just set 2 of my combo pieces to the bottom. Love that. Love it. Okay, Expedition Map. I wonder if we're on a Turbo Depths plan, or is this going to be Saga, Caracas? Plenty of options here. Deck full of lands. They all do something. Yavimaya, okay, turning on green mana. Hawkeye's Bow. I think I should attack. Opponent needs to develop depths and stage here. A Crop Rotation into end step Crop Rotation probably kills me. All right, well, I've got one plan here. Develop the bow. All right, maybe don't crop rotation. Okay, cool. I didn't get rotated in the end step. I could have left back Tamio to survive a Dark Depths, but I'm not winning that game anyway. That might start being a thing starting this turn, depending on what my opponent's showing when they pass. A Rumble, 2 Passages, and an Exploration. Do you need lands, or do you need to get the lands in your hand out of your hand? I took one of the Passages to hit a land drop. Choke's pretty good. Oh, choke right on time. That sucks. Okay. I can use Scalding Tarn for mana because of Yavimaya. All right, I'm going to attack with everybody here, and I'm going to pass the turn. Access to Clue. If I find an untapped land, we might still be in this. The opponent found their dumb thing one turn before I found my dumb thing. They don't play the game engine. I've been getting choked a lot lately in Legacy. I don't appreciate it. There was a while where this card wasn't even in the sideboard, but it's back. Rumble. Found Depths Quarter Saga. Lots of options here. I do play 2 mountains if my opponent thinks wasting my mountain or quartering my mountain would screw me. That is something I can take advantage of. Took Dark Depths. Exploration. Had one anyway. All right, we've got 1/1 Eldrazi spawn. Getting involved. Okay, I take some damage here. Looking for that untapped land. Blue token. A 3rd Hawkeye's Bow. Flame of Anor, you're killing me, Smalls. And Thundering Falls enters tap 2. I hate this. And now Dark Depths is actually an active onboard issue for me. A Thundering Falls. Gotta deploy it. Oh, there's a land. I'll leave that on top. Equip Hawkeye's Bow to Thunder Trap Trainer. Attack for 3. And play out another bow. And now I'm kind of threatening a meaningful attack. All right, pass the turn. End step. Crop rotation. If this gets Caracas, I'm probably dead. Thespian Stage, I can play through that. The skateboard's already in play, but something like Caracas, or just Sajiri Step, or Talon Gates of Madara, those all push Merit Lage through here. Okay, making Merit Lage, leaving a green floating. Yep, had the Sajiri Step, sure. All right. Big tough guy with your choke. Choked me out of playing my Blood Moon. Then we would have had a real game. Okay, that one, again, was closer than before. We're starting to get close to winning a game. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is sponsored by Ultimate Guard. I travel all over the world playing Magic with very expensive cards. I trust Ultimate Guard products to protect the tools of my trade wherever I go. Whether you like magic art, licensed art from other worlds, entirely original art, or the simplicity of plain colors, their products have incredible range to match anyone's style. Protect your cards how I do, stay up to date with all the new releases at ultimateguard.com, and stop by the Ultimate Guard section of your local game store. I'm on the play for round 4. I'll keep Island Ponder. Opponent's also got 7 cards. I don't actually need lands here, but I do kind of like Flow State. I should have actually stacked the Prismatic Vista on top to insulate against Thoughtseize. Okay, well, Savannah is not going to play a Thoughtseize. Zenith, that's not where I'm going to put my Force of Will. I will take the land here. This lets me Thunder Trap Trainer. Oh my goodness. 30 of my deck are non-creature, non-land cards. Just double checking. It's fully half. Once again, putting 2 Aphettos on the bottom. Okay, is my opponent actually playing Maverick, or is this like some Elves or Cradle Control deck that has a Savannah? Is it some kind of Zenith Beanstalk strategy with many colors? We'll find out soon. Talon Gates of Madara. All right, I mean, temporary deleting Thunder Trap Trainer is not that scary to me. They must just need a land drop. Scythecat Cup. That card's actually terrifying. I'm going to force that pitching Alluring Revealed. This turns on Flow State and buys me a lot of time, because my deck doesn't actually play removal. Scalding Tarn. Okay. That means I don't need Alluring Revealed necessarily. I'm going to start with Flow State. That is operational. Hawkeye's Bow, Thunder Trap Drainer. I'll take both of those. And this is probably a Wasteland deck. I'll cast Ponder now. Force of Will and Negation. I don't want these cards. Shuffle it up. Got another Ponder. If there were good cards, if it was like Flow State underneath the Force of Will, I would have thought about it. But I can't take Force of Negation in this matchup. I wonder if this is just green-white depths. It's an older deck, but it checks out. Swords to Plowshares. All right. It's 2 turns in a row that they have removed my Thundertrap Trainer from play. Scalding Tarn's a decent draw. All right, Thundertrap Trainer. You got something for me this time? Okay, Brainstorm. I like that one. I'll take Brainstorm. I'll cast Brainstorm. I don't need this many bows. Put back a bow and a Lorien. Then I'll cast Ponder. I'm looking for an Alchemist now. They're rotating in response. That means they're probably not getting Bajuka Bog. All right, Flagstones. Cool. All right, I actually do like these cards. Tameo and Flame of Anor. Take them both. With a land underneath. A Bajuka Bog could turn off Flow State in response to me casting Flow State. That's just something I am aware of. I'm going to play Tameo. And then I'll Flame of Anor. They have tricks in their deck that could protect the Reclaimer or kill the Tameo in response, but going after Reclaimer while flipping Tameo, while hitting my land drop here, there's a lot to like about just making this play. I grabbed a Savannah with the Flagstones ability. Got Echoing Deeps. It's probably going to be Talon Gates to protect the Reclaimer, sure. And then I draw 2 cards and Tameo flips. Oh no, they have Swords to Plowshares too. A Crop Rotation. Away Echoing Deeps. Is this going to be Caracas? Yeah, it is. Okay. So we flushed out a Crop Rotation and Elf activation. Am I going to need double red ever? I'm just going to Ponder. Brainstorm, another land. Okay. I will take these and get my damage through. The Hawkeye's Bow backup plan is still there for me. Basic Forest. Knight of the Rel. 5/5. Can be 6/6 whenever they want it to be. It's an unfortunate number. Okay, do I want to start with Flow State or do I want to do something else? I'm going to start with Flow State. Alchemist and Bow. If I brainstorm into Force of Will here, I have a pretty decent chance to actually win this game. All right, I'm going to brainstorm. Did not find a force. I'll put away Thundering Falls and the redundant Tameo. And I'll play out Aphetto Alchemist. And I think I want to play Tameo here. Because if they tap Caracas to bounce Tameo, then that's a Reclaimer activation they miss out on. All right, bounce Tameo. Left Reclaimer, unused. All right, now Knight of the Reliquary can be 7/7 at will, or even bigger if they flip a fetch land with it, because Knight lands come in untapped, Reclaimer lands come in tapped. This is the first time I've had a Aphetto Alchemist on the battlefield in the league. Drawing a red source would be pretty nice. I could have avoided that Tameo play and fetched a mountain instead. I'm hiding the Hawkeye Bow. I don't want them to know that that's what I got. And I imagine if they've been playing Magic at all in the past few weeks, they're aware of this as a possibility. Zenith for 2. Something like an Outland Liberator here would be pretty powerful. Okay. Scythecat Cub. They can make a lot of land drops, but unless they can also clear Thundertrap Trainer as a blocker. Crop rotated away Dryad Arbor. Getting a fetch land. All right, so they're piling up damage. That's the plan here. 8/8. They can fetch and make that a 10/10. They can activate Elvish Reclaimer and make it a 14/14. Oh no, it's only the second time that it doubles, so it's +1 from here on out. The double has already occurred. 11/11. Oh no, is there more? If whatever's happening right here doesn't kill me or kill Aphetto Alchemist, I'm good. Sajiri Step. Gonna put me to 1. Okay. How do they make a land drop right here? Oh, they said they didn't do the math. That's lucky for me. Yield didn't do the math. Win the game. Sequence. Hawkeye's Bow. Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah, they probably saw the writing on the wall and just started sending it. And I don't know if that could have been done better. But I'm glad it was done the way it was. I don't think Pyroclasm is really going to kill things. Blood Moon is such a mixed bag. I'm pretty set on Grafdigger's Cage. Force of Negation is mid. Grafdigger's Cage is good. I like Force of Will, being able to push over the line. I could probably go one fewer bow because I am not going to beat this deck with the Hawkeye bow pings. And maybe it's one Blood Moon. Blood Moon's not even that good against them. They have a lot of basics, and Green Sun Zenith. If they have Artifact Hate, they're probably going to bring it in anyway. And Force of Vigor plus Blood Moon gives them Merit Lage immediately. Like Blood Moon or Dark Depths enters with 0 counters as a mountain. If I have Blood Moon, and then if Blood Moon ever dies, Dark Depths just wakes up. Not ideal. Okay, but I mean, comboing them out or going Max Tameo are the ways that I can win this game. Well, here's this hand. I'll keep. I'm in. Elvish Reclaimer. Yeah, the thing that was going for me last game was that my opponent used most of their stuff, like their Talon Gates and their Echoing Deeps early. Oh my god, imagine if I had Pyroclasm right now. Alright, I mean, my hand does not do better things than this. I'll cast the Alchemist. Put them to the removal test immediately. Looks like they're going to pass. Okay. 1 down. Knight of the Reliquary. Thunder Trap Trainer. Okay. This gives me something. Let's have a look. Ponder and Brainstorm. Brainstorm is better for me because my hand has multiple bad cards in it. I'm going to get Volcanic Island here because I want to add another bow, but I want more blue sources in play for next turn and every turn after that. Dark Depths. Okay. Well, there's that. That is now operational. How do I solve this problem? I start with Brainstorm. I need a flying blocker, but even that's not going to be good enough. Flip back to crappy lands. Fetch. Yeah, there's no bounce mode of Flame of Anor, unfortunately. Shuffle. All right, dead. Yeah, that's just a 20/20 coming in. Oh, equipped creature gets reach. That is words on Hawkeye's bow. I had a little more game there than I thought I did. Never even read that. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has reach. I still lose to Sejiri Step there and Talon Gates of Madara, and they have 3 ways to tutor lands. I still lose there, but I could have made that a little better. This Pyroclasm. If I find it early, like turn 2 Pyroclasm or turn 3 Pyroclasm might actually win me the game. But anytime other than that, it's not going to be good. Maybe I should believe more in Blood Moon and a little less Lorien revealed. All right, keep. From a Grafdigger's Cage. I hope opponent has a handful of Zeniths. Turn 1 Cage. And then I have the turn 2 Entomb Reanimate. But once upon a time, found Yavimaya. Reclaimer. Okay, Tameo. I'm going to get Basic Island and save the Prismatic Vista to get Basic Mountain if I want it. Brainstorm. I'll put back... I want to put back both lands. Land and Flow State. And then I'll draw Flow State next turn. And I can cycle Lorien. That gives me sorcery, and I can start digging. The first time Tameo's really started cooking in this league so far. Wasteland, played around it. End step, Disruptor Flute. Okay. So Tameo can turn off here. I can live without her. Draw Flow State, cycle Lorien for another basic island. Cast Flow State, Thunder Trap, and Ponder. Sylvan Safekeeper. That's a good one to hit with Pyroclasm. And a bad one to hit with anything else. All right. Flow State. If opponent wants to Bajuka Bog me, I can live with that. Ooh. Blood Moon and Hawkeye's Bow. Let's get some stuff in the bank here. Fetch from Mountain and Thunder Trap. Force of Will. Give me that. Might not matter. They might be able to beat me just by activating Elvish Reclaimer from here. But still, give me that. Ooh, didn't reclaim in the end step. That's scary. Safekeeper has protection from blue. Oh, protection from white? Why would we say protection from white? What's going on here? Is that just a random land drop? Knight of the Rel. Well, if I don't force this, I may not force anything. So force pitching Brainstorm. Brainstorm's about to be a lot worse because I'm not going to be able to shuffle my deck with fetch lands anymore. Another force. Okay. Unfortunately, they had the smarts to tutor basic planes last turn. And now I'm just going to turtle up a little bit. I want to save this Ponder to be a blue card for force. Because rotate into Dark Depths, cast Force of Vigor from hand is some shit I don't want to play against. If I find a Flame of Anor at any point and I can blow up this Disruptor Flute, I'm going to feel way ahead. Hey, there's 2 of them. There's 2 of them. Target player draws 2, destroy target artifact. Rip that off. Hit my land drop, plus Tamiyo. And I still think having more forces in my hand is better than casting the Sponder. Okay. Dumping Dryad Arbor. Are we setting up tech lands or just getting basic forest? Basic forest unlocked. Caracas. Knight of the Rel. I'll force that as well. Not interested. Uh-oh. Disruptor Flute got me. Got my ass. That's alright. We're back to our stalemate, where I'm a card draw deck and they're not. Another Thundertrap Trainer. Con Queso this time. We're in there. Brainstorm is better than Hawkeye's Bow. That's a blue card for force. And Thundertrap Trainer finds Flame of Anor. And we're back in. Wizard Gaming. Elvish Reclaimer is attacking me right now. Or attacking Tamiyo. I could block with everything. That sounds great. I block with everything. Because if I block with only one thing, they could sack any land to Sylvan Safekeeper and make it 3/4. But I still win this combat unless they have a additional removal spell from hand. And spending a removal spell on something that was already a 2-for-1 or 3-for-1 is not a good deal. Yeah, that just traded with the token. All right, replacement 3/4. That's fine. Scalding Tarn. That can be my red source. I draw 2, destroy target artifact. Down to Flow State. Plus Tamiyo immediately. At least get that up. Flow State. Flow State Ponder. Flow State again. Got Force of Will in my hand. Hawkeye's Bow and random land. Okay, pretty gassed up here. Still got blockers. Tamiyo's ready to bust. We did it! We're on the board! On to the final round.
The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables.
Final round. I'm on the play. I will keep this Tamiyo Flame of Anor hand. The speed alchemist here. Call him Walter White. Okay, Island Tamiyo. I currently look like a normal Magic deck. Opponent's on a Multa 6. Tamiyo's in there. I'm going to attack with Tamiyo first. My opponent's got a Lightning Bolt. Want to make it tempting before I do anything else. Okay, Basic Mountain, Aphetto Alchemist. I don't have the bow, but the bow's the easy part. Untapping with Alchemist is the hard part. And if opponent uses removal on Alchemist, then that's removal that was not used on Tamiyo. And I don't know if you knew this, but Tamiyo is a busted Magic card. The Undercity Sewer. You know what else is busted? The Fantasticar and Doomsday. We'll see what happens here. Luckily, Aphetto Alchemist, a mighty 1/2, does not succumb to Bowmaster by itself. Okay, Grixis cards. Bolting Tamiyo. Are there 2 removal spells? Or did the plan work of having scary cards? Brainstorm. Okay, I'll play Tamiyo. And then I'm going to immediately Brainstorm. Okay, that ate a Force of Will pitching Flow State. That was worth a bunch of cards. Attack with Alchemist. Okay, opponent's on some sort of Grixis control deck with Lightning Bolt and Flow State in it. Whatever it is, I like it. A Brainstorm. I just tried to do that, and it was stopped nefariously. Underground Sea. Ponder. Yeah, it was pretty clear that my opponent's hand did not have black removal in it. They found that Lightning Bolt, but using Force of Will to fight over a Tamiyo flip. All right, found another piece of red removal right on time. Now I draw bow and win. Bow and win. Right, brainstorm. Yeah, I think I'll start with brainstorm here. I could still win if I find a bow right now. Narrator. That didn't happen. All right, I'll put back flow state, flow state. I'm going to draw a card, and I'll attack for 1 again. Starting to run out of juice here, but opponent's down to 2 cards in hand as well, and I have Force Blue card plus Flame of an Ore. An island. I could flow state to turn on flow state. That is an option here. It's not on yet, but the next one will be. Ponder and Thundertrap Trainer. I'll take Trainer. All right, here's the operational flow state. Thundering Falls and Backup Alchemist both look okay to me. Thundering Falls, another Force of Will on top. Actually, I'm going to keep that. My opponent's almost out of cards here, and I'm trying to assemble a combo. If I can Thundertrap Trainer into Bow with double Force backup next turn, that'll do it. Okay, Brainstorm. I didn't attack last turn because I don't want to lose my Alchemist to Orcish Bowmaster, which is a card I have so far successfully played around. Here's Force of Will, and then Thundertrap Trainer. Looking for a bow. Found a Brainstorm. I gotta dance around that a little bit. Not like a lot, but at least a little bit. I'll play a second Alchemist and pass the turn. I feel like this entire league I've been drawing 2 to 4 bows per game and never seeing Alchemist. In this game I have the opposite problem, but this problem is better to have. I wish Alchemist could untap a land, but they were stricter about the color pie back in the pre-modern days. A Ponder. Did not shuffle. Thoughtseize. All right, well, there's not really a fight to be had over that. I have 2 of my protection spell, and then my other 2 cards are see more cards. Took Flame. That is the most potent of the cards that I have. I do not care about Barrowgoyf. That resolves. This gives me a runway to rip off this Brainstorm, Unfear of Bowmaster. Florian Revealed. Oh, that might be better to cast. All right. Send that to the moon. Found a red. Unfortunate. I was hoping maybe I would still Brainstorm this turn. Not today. There's a lot of looks next turn. I will be putting Thundertrap Trainer under the bus here. That one's out of here. Florian Revealed. I could kick Thundertrap Trainer. I think that's worth doing. That's resilient against removal and resilient against Barrowgoyf. If my opponent hardcasts a Force of Will here, I will pitch probably Brainstorm to fight back. Yeah, Force pitching Brainstorm. I don't believe my opponent is a Daze deck. Here we go. Lots of otters. Here, yes. Hawkeye's Bow in the grip. Opponent sees the writing on the wall now. Hand a redundant one. Okay. I could attack with these Aphetto Alchemists, but I don't need to, and I'm not gonna. I don't think there's anything that punishes a tapped creature that gets played in Legacy right now. Offer up a little Offspring Otter, and it's go time. Hawkeye's Bow. Equipped to my first Alchemist. Opponent has 2 cards in their hand. Those 2 cards have to kill both Alchemists or both bows, and they have to do it through Force of Will. Oh, okay. That is pretty tight. All right. Cool card. Other bow. Luckily, I was doubled up. If they have something like Long Goodbye right now, an uncounterable second removal spell, that would have threaded the needle, but that's not something I'm actually going to play around. I think I like Flusterstorm, getting 1-for-1 interactions here. Pyroblast, kind of sweet. We know we're up against a flow state strategy. Hydroblast counters some amount of their removal. I don't think I'm going to Blood Moon this deck. I think Force of Negation should come out for some of these better counter spells. I like the full density of my combo. I like my full suite of forces. Force of Wills, that is. I think I can go lower on Lorien. My opponent is not going to blow up my mana. The only thing they could have is a Blood Moon or a Back to Basics of their own, and I don't think that's going to come in. I'm quite good against them. A Fluster and 2 Pyros. Do I want 1 Hydro in? Yeah, I think I mostly want to trust in my cards from here. Though red removal was part of their plan and Kolagon's command was there. I just don't want to overboard. And the map on this deck is not well constructed. Island, Tameo. Ew. I was supposed to do that. All right, well, I'll do it anyway. Tameo. And here I am drawing more bows this time. I will block, just in case they have Moon Circuit Hacker or Mistblade Shinobi. And Mistblade Shinobi in the Tamio mirror, busted. Did not shuffle Ponder, has a red source, and a black source. That's all the removal colors. Ooh, alright. I was gonna suit up with Bow, but now I think Pondering's better. Okay, I've got a clue. Ponder. I found land number 3 and Force of Will number 2. And Hawkeye's Bow number 3. Okay, I'm just gonna play Island and pass the turn. I kind of do want that other Force of Will. I'm building towards a combo endgame, and also resolving my Flame of Anor this turn is probably going to be important. They did not have a land pre-combat, so I don't have to worry about Kaito. Not that I could have done anything about it. Ponder. All right. Unfortunately, Tamio's going to flip here. And what I'd have to do to stop it, like e.g. force that Ponder, I am not willing to do. Didn't shuffle Ponder. My thoughts! All right, well, that's disappointing. I wish I only had one Hawkeye's Bow, so it might be tempting to take. I think I'm going to lose Flame of Anor here. That's just the best card in my hand. Unless my opponent wants to lock down the Tamio War and strip Force and then waste my Tamio. Alright, well. Ain't I a stinker? I had another one of those ready to go. I attack with Tamio, and I am going to smoke my opponent's Tamio and flip my own with Force backup. Target player draws 2, deal 5. Draw 2, deal 5. Can't brainstorm in response. They need an actual card. Pyroblast does interact here. Force pitching Tamio. Force pitching Thunder Trap. All in on the Tamio game, both of us. But I am ahead on it in this moment. Plus Tamio. And pass the turn. Opponent's got one card left. They pitched a bonus Tamio. And the residual clues. Grixis is very good at killing Tamios, though. Just a Pyroblast, a Shieldred's Edict. Whatever. 2 bolts. A Flow State, Pyroblast. They have got out from under Tamio here. Okay, I'm going to Thunder Trap, and I'm going to hope to find Flow State specifically. Flame of Anor. I'll bank one of those, and then I'll play the other Thunder Trap. This is a game that might quickly get out of control with Hawkeye's Bow Beatdown. Force of Will, Pyroblast, Flow State. I think I'm more interested in Flow State now than I am Force of Will. I don't have anything specifically interesting going on that's worth 2 cards to protect, so I'd rather just fill my hand with 2-for-1s. Opponent does know my entire hand right now. Oh, that's dirty. Flow State. I'll take... Do I want Island or Thundering Falls? Thundering Falls and Brainstorm. Thundering Falls. Pyroblast is really good. I'll put that on top. And I'm actually going to go for the Hawkeye's Bow Beatdown here. Make them respond to that rather than give them a really nice removal option in my Alchemist. Okay, attack. Attack for 4. Big chunks of damage coming. Okay, Bowmaster has arrived. And trade the army for the bigger Thunder Trap. Okay, that has happened. Flame of Anor. If I cast it to draw cards and kill Bowmaster, the Bowmaster will trigger. That is how that works. Cracking a clue. Found a land. I can crack another clue or play a removal spell. But I'm drawing Pyroblast here. That's a useful card to have access to. I think I just want to go Thunder Trap Beatdown. Attack for 5. What do you know? What do you say? And if they jam a removal spell here, I'll play Aphetto Alchemist second main. Okay, Lightning Bolt happens. And here's that boy. That's the turn. Upkeep, fetch. Shieldred's Edict, tough. All right. Stabilized. Grixis colors are not where you want to be trying to execute a creature combo. Just by the way. Okay, I'm going to deal 5 to Bowmaster. Just remove this from the battlefield. And I'm going to spend this turn cycle cracking clues. I think that's the best way to use my mana here. All right, you crack a clue, I crack a clue before Bowmaster's back on. Tamio's here. My 4/3 Tamio, thanks to the double Hawkeye Bow. All right, main phase, Surveil land. Mystic Sanctuary is a tech land I also considered for this deck, and then decided to just stick with perfect mana. But it would be okay here. Another Alchemist, let's go. Okay, Tamio. Equip. Aphetto Alchemist, and I'm just going to pass here. I've created 2 problems. Lightning Bolt, the Alchemist. Yep, that is necessary to do. 3 cards in hand. I think I am on the Pyroblastic Cantrip level here. Oh yeah, definitely can't. That one. Counter target spell if it's blue. That's a blue spell. All day. I'm not just going to jam this Brainstorm off. Oh, that's a good card though. Alright, no reason to equip Hawkeye's Bow here. The beatdown plan suddenly replaced with drawing 3 cards straight up under Tamiyo. Okay, Tamiyo flips. Plus. And I think I'd like to get... Oh, do I want a Thunder Trap? I wish I had thought about that more, because I can kick it next turn. Yeah, that might have been sloppy. This is too many Brainstorms. I'll get rid of that. One of the cards I'm most worried about right now is Orcish Bowmaster. All right, with that in mind, I'm just going to Brainstorm now. Alchemist and Thunder Trap. Oh no. All right. I can play around Thoughtseize entirely here. I'm going to go Vista Thunder Trap on top. I haven't entirely played around Thoughtseize, but I have hidden the card that's probably actually better, the Thunder Trap Trainer. Barrowgoyf. Concerning. Or I could just put Force of Will in my hand with Tamiyo, play out Aphetto Alchemist, and bet. I know the top card of my deck is cards I don't want. Oh, I could do both. I could kick Thunder Trap Trainer. But Trainer is my blue card. Alright, I'm still going to kick Thunder Trap Trainer. I can do it all here. As long as any of the top 8 cards of my deck are a blue spell, I can still do the same thing. Flusterstorm. Put that one in the bank. And Glorian Revealed. Grab one of those as well. Tamiyo, get Force of Will back from the graveyard. Cast Aphetto Alchemist. I got the turtles up under the Barrowgoyf. Now 1 more mana to have the Flusterstorm too. My kingdom. Brainstorm. That happens. Thoughtseize. Disappointing. Well, it happens. I mean, the win is on board, so they need a removal spell still. Thoughtseizing my hand doesn't remove that from the equation. Attacking Tamiyo. I will offer up my Thunder Trap Trainer for that. Or my twin. Thunder Twin. It's time for a devastating Kolaghan's Command. Right, Lightning Bolt works too. And Bowmaster. Oh, that finishes off Tamiyo and makes my board suck. That's a tough one. Almost had it, team. Low state. All right, well, we might be back. I gotta answer Barrowgoyf for this game to really go anywhere. Low state. I'm looking for Flame of Anor, I guess. Or my last Aphetto Alchemist. We're right back in. All right. Aphetto and Tamiyo. With Flusterstorm up this time. Aphetto. Tamiyo. And drawing a card with a clue could be useful here. Oh, I'm going to pass. Without doing any equipping. Unfortunately, they have enough mana that Flusterstorm's not a reliable counterspell here. Chumperino. Moment of Truth. Should I draw a card in the end step? No, I would lose to a second Bowmaster if I do that. Okay, I'll play out my land, and I'll go for the equip. Moment of Truth. Are we in? We're in! GG's. Okay, a rally in the back half there. I did not win a game for 3 rounds and then won 2 matches in a row. And what happened there was I played against 3 modern-day Legacy decks. Lands, Vroomsday, and Surveillance combo. And then in the back half of the league, and no offense to my opponents, but I think it's fair to say those were kind of throwback decks. Grixis Control and Green-White Depths. Those are decks we might have seen 4 or 5 years ago. Like pre-Modern Horizons 3 decks, maybe, is a safe way to call them. I think Grixis can be more up-to-date than Green-White Depths is, and they've both gotten new cards printed. Like, I'm not saying it's nothing, but those are not top metagame players where my first 3 decks were. And this deck itself could be improved in a couple of ways. And certainly in Arena of Glory, just in the mana base, a Mystic Sanctuary in the mana base. Adding Mystic Sanctuary means we change Prismatic Vista to regular blue fetches, at least some of them. Maybe we go 2 and 2 with other blue fetches and vistas if you still want access to Mountain. But a Mystic Sanctuary to jump off Flow State or Lorien Revealed in the mid game That's a low cost thing to do. And Arena of Glory, I think, is actually just essential to updating this deck. If you want more of that going on, I could even see playing Bitter Reunion. I made a point to look it up this time. It's not that helpful for me to just say, that card that does the thing. Bitter Reunion is a looting effect that can grant haste later in the game. But I think giving Aphetto Alchemist haste in some sort of passive way is actually just completely essential. Passing the turn with a 1/2 and hoping that you're still going to have it later. And while Tamiyo is a lightning rod, and we did see in that Grixis game, opponent spent removal spells on Tamiyos, and then I was able to sneak Aphetto Alchemist through. Still, just giving it haste would be a game changer. I think you could also play less than 4 bows. You could certainly play 3 and get just another useful spell of some kind in here. You might even be able to get away with 2 because it's so hard to set up Alchemist anyway. But if you have some haste enablers, Alchemist gets a lot better. And I think Meltdown should be in the sideboard in today's Legacy metagame. But the sideboard is always going to be tuned as far as the main deck. Get some haste enablers in here, and I think we can play 1 fewer bows and still do what we want to do. This was a fun deck. I won't say that it was a great deck, but it was fun, and we did get to do the thing a couple times. I'm going to leave this one here. Jeremy, thanks for sending it in. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon to support the channel. I'll see you next time.